We're starting off on pixlr.com/e, pixlr.com/e. We don't need to make a login. We're not going to deal with that today. We don't need to make a login because everything we do today, we're going to download and save it right then. So we're going to click on Create New. By default, it goes to full HD. We don't need full HD. That's just a little too much. So let's go with Web 720p. 720p is plenty for what we're working with. And we're just going to be making some basic shapes. So we're going to call it Basic Shapes. Well, let's go ahead and add a background color of white. Go ahead and scroll down and then click the Create button. So we have a nice new blank image that's white. So over here on the right, these are called layers. Everything's going to be stacked on layers. So let's practice with this for a minute. So first, let's go with shape. So I'm going to make a shape. I'm going to click the shape tool. I'm going to use the rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw a shape. By default, I just made a white rectangle on a white background. It's kind of hard to see. So let's fill it with another color. And I'm going to ask you to fill it with some shade of green. And here we go. So I want to rename this. Instead of naming this shape 2, let's rename it rectangle. Don't worry about anything else. Just name it rectangle. Great. Let's go to the next layer, which was layer 1. And I'm going to rename that one background. Many people leave layer 1 as layer 1. I'm okay with that for now. So we have a background layer and a rectangle layer. Let's go add some more shapes. So click off the shape so nothing is selected. I'm still on shape. How do I know I'm still on shape? Because it's still selected and my tools haven't changed. And let's go make a circle. So I'm going to draw a circle. Actually, I'm going to make an oval. I want it to be taller than the rectangle. By default, it turns green. And I'd like you to fill it with some shade of red or orange. Reddy orange is fine with me. And then click off of it, and it's filled. Let's also rename this one. So we're going to call it, oval. And one more time, I'm going to deselect that lovely oval. I'm still on shapes. Let's go make a custom shape. So if I click custom, it doesn't look like anything happened. Well, now I have this option for shapes. So I'm going to click on shape. There are a lot of choices here, but I'm just going to go with that puffy looking one. I hold down my mouse. I click. I hold down my mouse and I make that puffy looking one. Try to make it smaller than the oval and fill it with another color. Let's go with a shade of blue. And again, let's rename it puff. I don't really know what that's called. Sorry. So we've added 3 layers to this background. We got a puff, an oval, and a rectangle. So I'm going to select this tool right here, the one called Arrange. That's nice. Get rid of the ads. I'm going to grab Arrange. I'm going to drag that rectangle and put it on top of the oval. What's supposed to be on top of the oval? Why is the oval still on top? Because the oval is on the top layer. What? I'm going to click off of it so you can see. The oval is still on top of the rectangle. How can I get the rectangle on top of the oval? I'm going to grab these 3 dots, the layer settings. I'm going to grab and drag the rectangle above the oval. Okay. I'm going to grab my puff and drag it right here. Why is the puff visible but the rectangle is not? Because the puff is on a layer above the rectangle. I'm going to move the puff down. Looks like it's gone. I'm going to move the oval up. Just play around with your puffs and your ovals and your rectangles till you get your oval back on top. All right. Next, let's add some text. So I'm going to click the T for text tool. And click the T for text tool. Deselect T for text. Now I have the text tool up here. Sorry, the menu changed slowly. I'm going to add some text. That's the default, and I'm just going to type, "This is my text." It's kind of hard to see. So I'm going to select all the text and change the color to something else I can actually read. I'm going to select all the text again and type, "This is my text." Again, select the text. Now I'm going to change it to any other color you want that's visible. I'm going to go with like a black so it's easier to see. Okay. Now, I can highlight the text like you would normally do on a word processor. I can, select the text. I can change the font to anything else that I prefer. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. So I'm moving my mouse. I'm still with this text tool selected. I'm moving my mouse to the edge. I can grab this and make it skinnier. Now with my mouse, so it looks like a four-headed arrow, I can grab it and drag it. And there we go. So your job is to get 3 shapes and a text box on your shape. 3 shapes and a text box on your shape. I'm sorry, on your picture. When you're done, File, Save. It's going to be saved as shapes. It's a JPEG. Let's just go with the medium quality. It doesn't have to be that great. And we can leave these alone for now. Just click the download button. The image was saved. And now add it to the assignment in Google Classroom. And